All right. So this is my CS50 project. I'll go to this page. It's called Mad Menace. My name is Wesley McCoy Ferguson. My GitHub is airferg. My edX is airferg. City and country is Richmond, Virginia, United States. The date I recorded this is January 25th, 2024. So when running the Flask application, you'll be taken to this login page. Now, Mad Menace was designed to be a space where skateboarders can create events to go to together for whether it's a media company or they just want to, get filmed or they just want to hang out. It was meant to kind of be a social media for that, and they can also post photos and videos and view each other's profiles. So it's more like a skateboarder social media that allows them to create events where they can hang out. So I called it Mad Menace because Mad Menace is kind of a skateboarder type of thing. Like in the skateboarding world, Dennis the Menace is kind of big, and this image is taken from the film All the Streets Are Silent, which is like a skateboarding documentary. So for the HTML of this page, about 60% of the page, it's split into two different percentages. 60% is this photo, and the other 40% is just a black container. Mad Menace is just an H1 tag, and then there's a form right here about let's say 150 pixels below it, and then right here in the form we've got username, text form, and then a password text box, and then an enter button. And then right here we've got an href register button, which will take the user to the register page. So for this example, I'm going to be making a new account. So I'll press register, and that takes us to the register page with the /register routes in the top. And every page is login required. It's configured so that it takes in the session ID, and you must log in when loading a new page, just so people can't, get into the app and make it less secure. So this is pretty much the exact same HTML. This photo is from the exact same film, All the Streets Are Silent. And in this form, it's the same two text boxes, but an additional confirm password text box, then a register button, and also a back to login href tag. So obviously right here, if the user submits a username, password, and confirm password, it's going to upload those to the Python backend, check if it all complies with the rules, if the username's already been taken or the password doesn't have the right characters, or if any box is empty, or if the confirmed password doesn't match the password. So I'll just make a dummy account, let's say Mac Miller, and then I want to demonstrate the protocol for making usernames and passwords. So for an example, I'll just do Mac Miller, and then I'll leave that blank. So if I do that, password must contain a number. That's a typo. At least contain a number. So that's one of the requirements, is that the password contains a special character and a number. So Mac Miller, and then we'll do Mac Miller 45, and then Mac Miller 45. Do that. Password must have a special character. So Mac Miller 45 $. We're gonna leave this blank, see what happens. Must confirm password. Mac Miller 45. Mac Miller 45. And right now I'll leave the username blank. must enter username. So, obviously it's got all the requirements necessary. So we'll do uppercase Mac Miller and then lowercase Mac Miller 45, Mac Miller 45. So then once I submit this, it'll upload the username to the database, as long with a user ID, and then also it's going to create a password hash for these passwords just for security purposes. Yeah, so we'll do that. Let's register. Then we're taken back to the login page. So right here we'll log in. We'll do Mac Miller, and I'll just demonstrate some more of the syntax. Must enter a password. So it's got the same requirements. I'll do password that doesn't match. So 46. Invalid username or password. So yeah, it's pretty secure on the sign in part. Mac Miller 45. And then this takes us to the main page. So it takes you to the Discover page, in which we have some posts that I've already done under different usernames. My username, Air Ferg, and then a dummy account called Bogos Minted. It's also got a search bar, and I'll demonstrate on specs. So we've got the head that's it's got all the style tags, and then we'll close that and get into the main stuff. The body, container, and then page header, and the container should contain the header. So the page header is in the title of the page, and then I've got a search bar in the media section, and then some JavaScript down towards the bottom. So I'll demonstrate the search bar at the end, but pretty much we've got some posts that you can look at. It's got their username, a caption, and it's designed for skateboarders, right? So this is Hyun Comer, Tyshawn Jones, obviously Lil Wayne. I'm not sure who all these people are. But yeah, we'll go over to the events section. So right here, it's got some events that are posted, and it just selects events taken from the database under the post section. So it's got it searches for the user's username, the name of what they submitted, the dates, and then the description. And I'll show you right here. So under the post section, using JavaScript, we've got two separate things you can click without reloading the page. So it uses an AJAX call. So we'll go to events and then post an event. You can enter the name. I'll do party in the bowl. We'll do a month. Let's do January 26th, which should be tomorrow, and then 2024. Let's say it's at 1:30, and then PM. And description, located at I don't know, Spark City, California. Let's make up an address, 1800 Square Place. Bring your friends. Let's skate. Red Bull will be there with their media team. Come out, get filmed for a chance to be posted on Red Bull's Instagram. So we'll create the event, and then it takes us back to the events page, and you see right here, it's now added my event. So Mac Miller, Party in the Bowl, 2024, January 26th at 1:30. It's in military time. located at Spark City, California. It's got the description. So yeah, it captures everything that is entered um, in this in this form, and because it is using JavaScript here, it took some learning to find out that using JavaScript, you can't submit via a form. You have to use because JavaScript uses JSON data, um, but using form data in JavaScript, you can convert it back to form data and use request.form.get for the name of each of these boxes or these text boxes. And then right here, post, you can choose a file to upload and enter a caption. And this uses in the HTML, it'll use an image tag. Before I didn't know it used an image tag, so because it was just uploading the name of the image, I had to figure out that it used an image tag, and then I was running into trouble with that. And I found out in Jinja you can say, okay, well if it has .png, .jpeg at the end, yada yada yada, then it will load the image tag properly once you upload it. So using pretty much the same JavaScript for the active bar. So depending on what you click, that is labeled the active section in the JavaScript, but this is active right now, so we'll use choose file, screenshot. We'll do this picture of future in the studio, and we'll put that in there, and then we'll do future in the stew, and then we'll post. So it'll grab this form data, it takes it from JSONify, turns it back into form data, sends it to the back ends, and then from here, there is no slash, there's no post function. It takes this data and sends it directly to the page that it's meant to send to. So post um, goes to the profile section or the discover section, and then event, it sends the data straight to events in the Python backend. So we'll post that, and it might take a little bit, and it takes us back to discover section. Voila, you see there's the photo, and I made sure in the HTML to configure the size of each photo. So as before, there was the header section right here, in the search bar, and then the media section. The media is broken down, everything below this line, and then it's broken down into rows, and then each piece of media, and then the image, username, and the caption. Actually, I wasn't sure how to make the search tag dynamic, but the header is dynamic. If you shorten the page, it'll turn into these two bars. Press this. I used, and it was allowed in the rules. I used a YouTube video to find out how to do this. But yeah, it'll turn the tags into this, which works pretty nicely for a smaller screen. Right here, there's the search bar. I'll go over that later. But yeah, so we demonstrated the discover page, the events page, the post page. As you can see, there's new events, and we had a new post. But you can also go to your profile. So profile, it'll say your username and the image you posted and the caption. And there's also a delete post function. So I'm going to keep this up, but I'll post a new photo right here. Let's go over and find a new photo that looks cool. Here's Lil Yachty. Yachty. Let's do Yachty. 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 How do I spell it? There we go. Diamond hat. Jeez, man, I cannot spell today. Diamond hat. Post that. So that'll take us back to the Discover page. And I wanted it to be like Visco, how not every photo is configured to be in one size and looking all uniform. I kind of like how it differs and how it looks depending on the size of the page. Um, I think that's kind of a very artistic approach, so that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, so there's that photo of Lil Yachty. He's got his oh, it's a pearl hat. My fault. But that photo was taken from his Twitter. So we'll go back to profile, and now we've got two images, and we'll do delete post. So I'll delete this photo of Lil Yachty, which completely removes. It's a separate function that goes to the back end, which pretty much is just a delete function. It removes the post from the database. It actually removes that entire row because it's attached to it's a new table in the database, and it's got the photo ID, the photo, caption, and it's also got the user ID attached of who uploaded it. So we'll delete this, and then profile, it reloads, and we've just got Future in the stew again. We go back to Discover, it's not there anymore. So yeah, and to get to the end of it, we've also got, this is a social media, so you need to be able to search other people's accounts. So right now I'm logged into, what is it? Mac Miller. We'll go back here and I'll do Airferg. So we'll search Airferg and it pulls up my account at Airferg, and it pulls up my posts. So yeah, it's a very social media. The main part is, I wanted to create a space where skaters can post, photos of themselves or, their clips and videos and have their captions. And I definitely wanted to do something where they could post events with each other. As you can see, I went through quite a few tests to configure it out, but we got it fixed up. And a big part of this is originally I wanted to just make a social media part, but started to shift the idea over to being kind of for media companies because for media companies that do things in skating, they either have to ask, the skater to do a one-on-one session, or they need to find events to go to. So I wanted this to be something they can use as a resource, that they can, find events to go to, find some new talent, film them. So yeah, so demonstrated Discover page, the functionality, air fry, or let's look up Bogo's Vented. And yeah, in David's video, I remember going back to it and seeing how it worked. And as you type, it sends an API call to the users that match the character. So Bogo's Vented, go back to that. Uh-oh. Oh, it's probably because this is the account I'm in. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's the project. That's pretty much what it is. It took me a while to do because I do work two jobs, and I'm also in school, so I'm doing this on the side as well. Definitely very comfortable with Python syntax, HTML and CSS. I'm getting much more comfortable with JavaScript. I really do not understand. As I said earlier, I did use outside resources for JavaScript, which is allowed in the rules. It's not, it said it was permitted to use outside resources, so I used ChatGPT, which it was allowed. So I shouldn't be penalized for that. But definitely going to take some more courses on JavaScript because I think it's much cooler than Python. As if I go to a new page, it would be cool to not have to reload page to a new section, but to just stay on the same page and reload, a new HTML, as like right here in post. Like it's dynamic, it doesn't reload the page, it's an Ajax call. Yeah, but definitely need to learn more about JavaScript. I really enjoyed this course, CS50, and I've learned so much. And honestly, my dream is to, learn more about this, maybe work a job in the code area. Um, and down the line, multiple years from now, I'd like to start some type of a software or financial technology or just a tech company. I'm very involved in entrepreneurship, and I've started multiple businesses. I actually own a media company, so that's kind of why I made this. And originally we were going to do rap and skate content, so that's why I've got so many rappers and skaters. So yeah, and there's also a log out function that you log out of and takes you back to the logout page. And yeah, so that was my project, and I really appreciate it. How do I end this? Hold on. How to end recording on screencast. QuickTime Play. Click the stop recording button in the menu bar. Okay. Oh, right here.